Come on down to the kitchen, get yourself in the mood. 'Cause when Britt gets to cooking, you're in for some good food. Yeah! Well, howdy there, Peaches. Welcome back to my kitchen. Now, I know times are a little tough out there, and just because your wallet's struggling doesn't mean your taste buds have to be. So today, I'm going to be making a delicious low country boil the struggle best way. And just like any good Southern woman, I'm doing it with a baby on my hip. It's Oakley Doakley. It's going to be my partner in crime today. For your low country boil, we're not getting too fancy with measurements now. It's just a matter of how many people you're feeding. So we're going to be using some imitation crab meat. Got these mini potatoes to save us some time. If you're using your regular old Yukon potatoes, you're going to want to just cut them up small. I'm going to be using about half this bag of bacon, this ranch packet seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, Cajun seasoning. You can use cayenne pepper, but I love me my Cajun. At least 2 sticks of butter. You might need more. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And at least 2 cans of baby corn. You can use a stir-fry kind that I'm using if you don't want to use the whole cobs, or you can get the loose kind, but I'm using these because they're cute and delicious. Let's apron up and get started. So the first thing you're going to do is warm up your skillet for some bacon and get yourself a nice pot of water boiling for the potatoes. Now remember, if you're working with a partner in crime like I am, if he's on your hip and you don't have a shield or nothing for that skillet, you might want to just pop him out of the way, otherwise that bacon grease is going to go flying and hurt your baby, and we ain't doing that today. Also wash your hands, because obviously. Next up, while that water's boiling, I'm going to go ahead and cut my little baby potatoes in half. This is an optional step. I just do it because it'll lower the cooking time, which with the size ain't going to be long anyways. But aesthetically, I just like the look of it. Also gives me something to do with my hands while that water's going. Once you got your water to a nice rolling boil, we're going to go ahead and throw those puppies in until they are fork tender. Once they're fork tender, you're going to toss in a stick of butter and all your seasonings to taste. At the same time, I'm going to be cooking up half a bag of bacon and just going to get that nice and chewy. You can do it crispy if you prefer it that way, but I like me some chewy bacon. In another pot, I'm going to be throwing in our imitation crab, a stick of butter, and the same kind of seasonings as I'm putting in the taters. Again, the amount is absolutely to taste. The key to a delicious boil is your seasonings. So the burner with the butter is where the crab meat's going to go in. I'm going to let that warm on a low medium heat. And once that's all nice and melted, I'm going to throw in the crab. Oh yeah. If you want to save time on cutting bacon and all that, use the bits and the ends. That's where you get the good stuff. You're like a real Southern woman with real Southern values. Now, when I say fork tender, I ought to mention that means when you poke it with a fork, it should slide right in and slide right off. Also, I definitely should have trusted my instincts. You may have noticed I put an extra stick of butter than I said I would in the crab, and I am going to put an additional 2 sticks in with the potatoes. So a rule of thumb for your butter is 1 stick per person you're serving. So if you're just doing yourself, making a little bit for just little old you only need like 1 stick of butter. You can do half and half. But otherwise, you're going to need more. Now that these taters are done, I'm going to strain them and start mixing everything together. You can probably tell this is going to make a lot. So I'm going to be using this big old serving dish here. It's my bean pot, okay? Everything goes in the bean pot. Actually, some beans and mac and cheese won't be bad on the side, just saying. Alright, now that everything's done, your last step is just to mix it all together. So what you're going to do here is get your taters out the sink. Make sure they're fully strained. And this is where you're going to add your 2 sticks of butter. The heat from the potatoes is going to just make it nice and warm and melty. You can soften it if you like, but that's just kind of if you've already got it going on. Otherwise, you really don't need to. Now, the purpose of the butter is not only to get that rich, well, buttery taste, but to help the seasoning stick to everything. And just mix. At this point, you can use the same spatula because, again, it does not matter. It's all getting mixed together. And some of the taters fall apart while you're mixing. Well, that's just life. This means you did a good job. Or maybe you left them on too long. Depends on your personal taste. Those taters cover the butter. I'll even put the lid on because the heat will turn this into kind of a convection situation and make the butter melt a lot faster. I don't know if you noticed, but putting the lid on them taters made them finish a lot faster. Now, once that butter's all melted, I'm going to be taking these here tongs. I will not be straining the bacon, but I'm not pouring all that grease in with all that butter. I love me some Paula Deen, but even that's a bit much. So to get that bacony flavor in everything, I'm just going to go ahead, when the time comes, pick it up in chunks like this, shake it off just gently, and pop it in the pan. While I'm waiting for that butter to melt, I'm going to go ahead and strain these here cans of baby corn, because you don't want the corn juices, you just want the corn. I'm going to strain them and pop them in the pot with the taters, and then we'll get to seasoning. All right, let's check on these taters. Oh yeah, see, that melted the butter lickety split. Gonna mix that all up. Alright, now we're going to add the corn. Be very careful. The tips of these cans is no joke. We'll go ahead and throw in that there bacon. Alright, so when I season that there crab, I only use about half the packet, so I'm going to use the rest of it on here. Now I did use the crab as a little litmus test for how much spice I want. And you can taste the Cajun, but you can't really taste the spice. And I like a little bit of kick in mine. So I'm going to go ahead and use a big ol' end here and just slap it on there. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the garlic powder and the onion powder. Not just to get the flavors out, but because we're working with a larger volume here. So you're going to need more spice. Cannot stress that enough. Get that a good mix in. Now you might be asking, why didn't you just put the crab in with all this? Crab's already seasoned, doofus. You got to make sure everything else is evenly coated before you throw that crab in. Throw in that crab. Oh yeah. Oh, nope. Little dude's trying to jump out. That's a no, sir. I know you see the food, but that ain't for you. Now just fold it all together. We're not trying to mash these taters here now. But again, it's not a travesty if someone get a little messed up. I probably put a little heavy on the crab meat in there, but let's be honest. I love me some crab meat, and so do my chillins. My friend folk, my family, whatever you want to call them. We all love us some crab meat. Hashtag no regrets. Alright, and that is it. Let's get this back to the counter and give her a good old taste test. Whew, talk about slaving over a hot stove, am I right? Now, this took about an hour to make, but again, if you're cooking for less, it'll probably take you less time. Usually about a single serving takes about 15 minutes, but if you're cooking for more, it's obviously going to take more time somewhere in between. So just kind of use that as your gauge when you're serving people or bringing this to a cookout. But until then, let's see if it's cookout worthy. Let's give this little bugger a taste test. Try to get a little bit of everything up in there. Come on, crab. Oh my word. Now that is good. I'll tell you what. Yeah, if you want a little spicier, throw some red pepper flakes or some sriracha in there if you're feeling froggy. But if you just like a delicate spice, this is perfect. This is so good. It's nice and just cozy. It is soul food on a budget. That's what I'm going to call it. But I want to know what you think. I want to know if you're going to make this little struggle bus low country boil at home, or if you're going to go the full 9 yards, get your stock pot and your juices and go ham. Now don't forget to tell your friends now. And go on all my socials also to say hi to my newest little addition. That's right. Tell them y'all come back now, you hear? Why am I here? I get Mama loves me, but come on. Wait, now she's moving me. What the? It's so warm. Mama, I want to get up and run around. Come on. Let me